Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Faciano, and today is another one of my Friday flight fights. Today, I'm dealing with my older bourbons that I have in my collection. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I've been doing bourbons and scotches. I've been doing peated and unpeated scotch and just randomly selecting specific bourbons from my collection. I'm doing a flight. I'm going to nose them and then rank them. And then the winner of each of these flights is going to move on to the finals. Like I had mentioned, today I'm doing my older bourbons in my collection. So here's how it works. Bottle number one, glass number one is going to be Russell's Reserve 13. This is coming in at 57.4% ABV, and I paid $154.99 in Phoenix, Arizona. I have little labels on the bottom. As soon as I get everything out, I will mix them up, nose them, taste them, and then rank them. Glass number two, bottle number two, Remus Gatsby Reserve. This is the 2023 release. This is coming in at cask strength at 49.05% ABV. I paid $259.99. Glass number two, bottle number three. Climbing up in age here, we got Calumet 16. Calumet 16, I paid $144 in Phoenix, Arizona. This is 53% ABV. Glass number four, we're jumping up to my 18-year-olds. Elijah Craig, single barrel, 18-year-old. I ended up getting this one for $149.99, and it's coming in at 45% ABV. And then my last bottle, bottle number five. This is going to be the Knob Creek 18. Knob Creek 18 is coming in at $175 and 100 proof. Now, this is also going to be pretty interesting. Most of these, three of these, were in my allocated whiskeys of the year. I didn't really taste my allocated whiskeys blind. I just ranked them in the order which I thought I liked them. So it's going to be interesting to see where some of these end up. Let me go ahead and clear these out of here and then start mixing them up. All right, so again, as I mix these up, I went with the clear Glencairns this time. I don't think that the color of any of these are really going to give anything away. And I also have them labeled on the bottom if I didn't mention that already. So once I get through nosing and tasting them, I can rank them and figure out what is in each of the glasses. I'm not going to try to guess them. I think it's going to be pretty useless to do that. I also don't want to have any preconceived ideas of what I think is in the glass. And I just want to go on their own taste and nose. So let me set these things aside and we'll get this thing going. And I can tell you, this smells a lot like sweet oak. So let me get my glasses off here. And let's get at it. I'm just gonna go from my left to right. I'm gonna nose it, taste it, and then give you some ideas. This is cherry and oak. I have a feeling a lot of them are going to have that vanilla, brown sugar, and caramel note as well. That one smells fantastic. Let's get it on the palate. Yeah, everything that was on the nose is also coming through on the palate. It's warming up my mouth a little bit, so I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit higher in the ABV. You get a good amount of oak and oak tannin on the side of my tongue. That cherry note is one of the dominant notes that are here. I'm going to say this a lot. That's pretty good. I'm going to get my water out here. Move on to glass number two. Glass number two is a little bit more subdued on the nose, but I still get a good amount of cherry and oak, slight amount of vanilla, not as heavy on the brown sugar or the caramel. Go ahead and get it on the palate. All right, that one's pretty good as well. Good amount of oak, a little bit of cherry. I get some more spice in this one than I did in the first, but again, very good. Let's go ahead and go to the third one. All right, third one, not getting much on the nose at all. It smells oaky, but I don't really get much of anything else. There's a slight amount of sweetness, but the cherry note that I have in the first two is absent from this one. Let's get this on the palate. Yeah, there's really not much to that one at all. It's a little bit drying, a little bit tannin, not much of a finish to talk about. Yeah, that one is arriving pretty much flat on the arrival. I do get drying oak on the side of the tongue, and really no finish to speak of. All right, glass number 4. So far, they're all really good. This one is probably bringing up the rear just because there's really not much to it compared to the first two. All right, this is pretty strong on the vanilla, the brown sugar, and the honey. Good amount of oak, but no strawberry or no cherry like the first two. Let's get it on the palate. All right, that one's fallen a little bit flat as well. There's more honey in this one, brown sugar and caramel and vanilla, absent on the cherry. Yeah, I'm not getting many fruit notes on this one. And it's going to be interesting going back the other direction. This was a little bit drying, so I'm wondering once I go back the other way if I'm going to get a little bit more out of this one coming off of this one or not coming off of this one. Initial gut feeling, these two are at the bottom. These two will be up at the top. Let's go ahead and get this 5th bottle, the 5th glass down. See what I think about this one. This one smells really good. Get a lot of vanilla cream, slight amount of cherry, good amounts of vanilla. This smells the most well-rounded. This jumps out of the glass a little bit more than any of the others. It has more of a sweeter vibe to it, or sweeter notes to it. I think I like this one on the nose the most. Let's get it on the palate. Oh man, that is very good. I think this one is the most balanced so far. This is a solid bourbon, good amounts of ABV. The oak is perfect. Good amounts of barrel char on the side. It's almost like a vanilla cream soda. I like that one quite a bit. All right, what I'm gonna do here is rinse, go back the other direction, probably A, B, C, D, compare these. I'll jump around, come up with my final order, and then we'll find out what I like the most. All right, I'm gonna speed this part up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm out of water. This was very interesting. When I first went through from right to left, this was a little bit drying. Didn't really have much flavor to it. But as I went back the other direction, this ended up changing completely. This one ended up being more balanced, more flavor than I originally thought. And it dropped this off a cliff. So going back the other direction, my placement here, glass number 4, I put this in 5th. This had a little bit more astringency to it. Going back the other direction, I put this one in 4th place. 3rd place, I went back and forth between these two, and this seemed a little bit more drying, a little bit oaky. It had a little bit more of a bitter note to it, so I ended up putting this in 3rd. This ended up being my 2nd place, and there is no question. I don't even think I needed to go back to glass number 5. By far, this one I liked the most. It was the most complete. It was the most complex. It was the most balanced. It had the most flavor. It was the best on the nose. It was a cream soda, right amount of oak. The ABV was perfect. This won by leaps and bounds. So you already know what they are because I have them listed down below. So let me go ahead and start revealing what it is that I put in each of the places. So in 5th place, I was drinking the Elijah Craig 18. The Elijah Craig 18 ended up just falling short. It didn't seem to develop to anything. It was pretty oaky and it didn't have much flavor. Going this direction, I thought it shined a little bit more than this one, but going back the other direction, it just fell flat. So the Elijah Craig 18 was in 5th place. My 4th place had a little bit of an astringency to it, and this was the Calumet 16. Calumet 16 in 4th place. And I think I remember when I did a First Friday Flight Fight with my Calumets, I think the 16, when I first opened it, was amazing. It was in the running for Whiskey of the Year, and the more I had it, the more I started favoring the Calumet 15 over the 16. And this is playing out the way that I thought it would, because there is definitely a, like I said, there's an astringency to this one. So my third place now is this glass, which is going to be the Knob Creek 18. Knob Creek 18 is in third place. I'm not too disappointed with that one. And then second place, I ended up putting the Remus Gatsby Reserve 15. I think I remember liking this one. And I do have this in my sample pool with the first release and the second release, the 2023 release. And I know the reason why I put the 2023 release is because I like this one more than the 2022. So not disappointed that that finished second. And then my first place, the only other one that I have here is going to be the Russell's Reserve 13. I got to tell you, I think this came in second place for my whiskey of the year, my bourbon of the year. And the only thing that beat this out was the George T. Stagg from 2022. This is a phenomenal pour. I really like this one quite a bit. So the Russell's Reserve 13 is going to move on to the finals. I have one more bourbon flight, and I'm going to throw in a double oaked flight. And then once I'm finished with the double oaked flight, I'm going to move on to my bourbon finals. And if you're interested to see what it is that I've done in the past, I think my last 4 bourbon videos, the flight fights on Friday, are going to be my bourbons. If you're interested in the scotches, take a look at those as well. I think I have 2 more scotches. I have my older scotches, and then I have my peated scotches as well. So I'm quickly wrapping, well, not quickly, I guess quickly is a relative term, but I am coming to the end of this Friday series. So Russell's Reserve 13 is going on to the finals. I'm going to do a blend, a little bit of each of these in a Glencairn, find out how that blend is, and then we'll call this video good. Got a little bit of each one in the glass. These blends are a little bit tricky. I don't know if I'm getting the right amount in each of these, but we'll see how it goes. And I've got a video coming up with my sister, and we did a sip it or skip it. And that did not go so well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel and you are liking this information, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Just go ahead and click on that little link right there. I do 3 types of videos. I publish something on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday is a series video where I dive into a specific type of whiskey. Currently, I'm doing a single barrel bourbon. My Wednesday videos are sip it or skip it. And then my Friday videos are First Friday flight fights, bottle battles, and individual flight fights. So if you are interested in that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, give me a like, share this with somebody in the whiskey world that might get enjoyment out of it. Leave some comments down below if you've had any of these, and if you've actually had these in a flight, what was your favorite in the flight? All right, I'm getting a tremendous amount of cherry, more cherry in this than I did in any of these individually. It's coming across as very sweet, and there is a good amount of cinnamon spice. This reminds me of Christmas in a glass. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate. That's interesting. I'm getting hit with a good amount of ABV right up front. Cinnamon spice, pepper, good amount of cherry, good amount of oak on the side of the tongue. It is a little bit drying, maybe a little bit too drying, and it's turning a little bit bitter on the finish. I wouldn't say that this is a bad blend, but I think it's something that you can probably skip. Let me get one more sip. Yeah, a little bit too bitter, a little drying, tremendous amount of cherry, cinnamon, and pepper spice. Yeah, it's not bad, but I wouldn't say that I like this any more than I like the others individually. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. Wherever you're at in your journey, I hope you are enjoying it, because I am certainly enjoying mine. And until the next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh man, Russell's Reserve 13. Moving on to the finals. Stay tuned. Finals are coming up at the end of February.